My mom wants to marry my boyfriend's father. Yeah, we found out they started dating behind our back and now they're gonna get married? Well, we're not gonna let that happen because we were a couple first and this is going to ruin our relationship. So we're going to absolutely crash their wedding. I'm 24 and I found out that my mother and my boyfriend's dad are in a relationship. To hide my identity and those who will be mentioned here, let's call my boyfriend Jack and his dad Jason. Jack and I met in high school. We were high school sweethearts. The kind that you would read about in sappy romance novels but never really believe existed. We clicked instantly over our shared love for Legos and MCU marathons. It wasn't long before we were inseparable and our relationship grew stronger with each passing year. Not long after, we started dating. We were so drunk from the alcohol that we snuck out and just casually confessed our feelings to each other. Our parents got to know each other, through us, naturally, and they were the usual dinner parties, backyard barbecue, and awkward holiday gatherings where you prayed your parents didn't embarrass you too much. They would laugh over burned casseroles at dinner at each other's house and swap stories about our childhood antics. But over time, those get-togethers became less frequent. Their laughter faded into silence. Life got busy and, well, get-togethers became less frequent. Everyone drifted apart. We didn't think much of it. After all, adults have their own lives, right? Well, after high school, I started to notice that my parents were becoming more distant until it came to be inevitable. A divorce. Jack's parents, and at the same time, were also separated, but not by divorce. See, Jack's mom battled depression and she eventually just disappeared from their lives. Naturally, Jack and his father tried to find her, but they couldn't get any information about her. They don't know whether she's even alive or not. Anyways, because of that, me and Jack had to work to help our parents. Fortunately, we have a stable job right now, and we actually dreamt of moving in together as soon as possible. But our little salary was not enough. I had to share the rent and bills with my mom, and Jack had to support him and his father, Jason, because he hasn't had a job for like a year now. But what's more important for us than moving in together is getting married. Jack and I have been saving up for our dream wedding. However, saving money's easier said than done, especially when life keeps throwing you into hell. Dreams cost money, and money is something we're short of these days. My mom lost her job when her company downsized, and the 2 part-time gigs that I've been juggling barely cover the essentials. Although Mom has savings, it's slowly being drained. And I think I would have to cover all of our living expenses soon. To top it off, unexpected medical bills added another layer of stress, and we were managing to scrape by until the eviction notice showed up. We'd been trying to find a more affordable place and spent our nights looking over listings and calling up places, but quickly discovered that affordable is a relative term. Nothing within our budget seemed livable. My wedding had to wait. Of course, Jack, as my partner, had to endure all of my frustrations as I vented them out. I poured out all my frustrations about the wedding budget and how it seemed like we were never going to reach our goal. It felt like every time we made progress, something else came up and set us back. Then Jack invited us over, me and my mom. We were in the middle of eating when Jason offered the extra bedroom in the home, and in return we would help with the bills and household chores. Mom and I exchanged a hesitant glance. It felt awkward, like imposing, but we were running out of options. As much as I wanted to refuse, we really needed the help, so we gladly accepted Jason's offer. The very next day, we started moving in. I just looked at the bright side. You know, that saying, to kill 2 birds with 1 stone, well, that's what happened. Mom and I got a temporary place to stay, and technically, Jack and I moved in together, right? See, Jason and Jack helped us move our things from the apartment to their home. Mom and I shared a room in their house, and we sold some of our furniture and belongings to not crowd their place that much. It was so strange at first, merging our lives with each other, but Jason went out of his way to make us feel at home. He helped us settle in, with us living under the same roof, and Jack and I noticed our parents becoming more comfortable and friendly. See, one morning, as we sat around the table, I realized how natural it all felt. The easy laughter, the shared stories, it was kind of family relationship that Jack and I had always hoped for. One evening, after a particularly grueling day at work, I had to leave early because I was not feeling well. I came home to find my mom looking happier than she had in weeks. She was humming.
actually humming as she set the table for dinner. It was weird, but it was nice to see her in high spirit. Just as I was about to ask what put her in such a good mood, somebody came into the kitchen. It was Jason. It took me a second to process why Jack's dad was standing there with a bouquet of flowers. He looked just as surprised to see me. Jason handed the flowers to my mom and tells me that he did not expect to see me at this hour. So I explained that I had to get home early. Actually, Jack and I were happy that they seemed to be getting along. I mean, that's good, right? If Jack and I were to be married, our parents being on good terms is a good thing. But there was something more. I didn't realize the way they laughed together, the secret glances, the subtle touches. It was obvious as day. Mom and Jason were in a relationship. Imagine my regret, as what was really happening did not hit me sooner. I didn't realize that they weren't just friends. Anyways, things started to turn around, and Mom secured a new job with better pay, and I took on extra shifts, and found freelance work to increase our income. Slowly but surely, we saved enough to move into a one-bedroom apartment. The day we moved out, Mom and I hugged Jason tightly, thanking him for his generosity and support, and they helped us move our things and treated us to a nice dinner after a tiring day. Months after moving out, Mom and I visit Jason's house for a casual dinner last night, and Mom went to their house early to help Jason with the dinner. Jack fetched me from work, and as we walked in, the familiar smell of Jason's cooking greeted us. We made our way to the kitchen, chatting and laughing, and when we saw them, Mom and Jason kissing. The sight was unexpected and left us both in shock, and our minds started racing, trying to make sense of what we had just seen. Our parents pulled away, looking equally surprised to see us standing there. Mom takes a deep breath and starts to explain. They revealed that they had started dating while Mom and I were still living in Jason's house. They swore that they did not intend for their relationship to happen and just wanted to be there for each other. We were even gaslit into believing that they mentioned how being a single parent is hard, and they needed each other to survive. Like, come on, it's not hard for us, right? They admitted that they had wanted to keep it a secret until they were sure about their feelings. Jack and I exchanged a glance. Processing the horrible sight in front of us, I was speechless and feeling a mix of emotions. Jack and I are planning on getting married, and the both of them know that. So why would they enter a relationship knowing that their children are going to marry each other? I ended up walking out and running straight to our apartment. I didn't even get to taste the food. I don't know what to do. Mom just came home this morning, and no, we're still not okay. And we're not talking to each other at the moment. But whenever I saw her talking on the phone with Jason, she looked so happy and excited. So I'm getting nervous and agitated because I hate her. To cope with what happened, I may have shared a questionable post about bad and irresponsible mothers, and my relatives are getting angry because apparently Mom's telling them that I'm stressing her out because of the shared post. And now, I've been receiving messages from them guilt-tripping me and telling me to take down the post. Well, thankfully, Jack is always one call away, but we're both clueless about how to deal with the situation. But I know one thing for sure. I will not allow them to ruin my relationship with Jack. So guys, should I actually take the post down, or am I doing the right thing? I don't actually know what to do in this situation, and it's exhausting my mental health. So tell me what to do. What's up, everybody? What a weird situation to be in. Mr. Reddito here. If you guys are new to the channel, go ahead and click that subscribe. But I want you to pause the video right now and drop a comment down below and tell me what you think is going to happen. Is OP's parent going to get in a relationship with her significant other's parent? I don't know. I guess we'll have to find out. But let me know what you think and then come back later and see if you were right. Here's the first update number 1. Hey, it's me again. Thanks for the support and advice. It's been 2 months that feels like an eternity in hell. But we're trying our best to navigate. Your words mean a lot, and they've given us some things to talk about. See, we're still figuring out the best way to handle everything, but we appreciate having this community to lean on. Thanks for taking the time to weigh in. I just wanted to address some comments against me. To those of you who are saying that I'm robbing my mom of her happiness, what about my happiness? She had her happiness with my dad before, so she already experienced it, even though they ended up in a divorce. Also, I've been with Jack for almost a decade? I'll not allow anyone, not even my mother, to get through to this. Why would I change my lifetime happiness for a relationship that just started as, I don't know, am I making sense to you? Moving on, it's been 2 months since that awkward dinner where Jack and I caught our parents in the act. 2 months of simmering anger, confusion, and hurt. Jack and I finally had the time to talk about our parents' decision. Of course, we were both against their relationship because, again, we're going to marry each other. A week after the kitchen situation, Jason, along with Jack, came to our apartment carrying a bouquet of flowers. I thought they were going to apologize to me and Jack and stop their nonsense of the relationship, but I was wrong. Sitting us down in the living room, they announced that they planned to tie the knot this year. My jaw practically hit the floor. I mean, seriously, after everything that's happened, they think they can just waltz down the aisle like it's no big deal? Jack's reaction mirrored mine, and he pulled me and we stormed out of the room without saying a word. How could they do this to us? Are they not thinking about the consequences of their actions? I mean, how could they betray us like this? When we got back to the apartment, they were kissing the hell out of each other, and when they noticed us, they laughed it off as they were slapping it on their faces that they were the ones who were going to get married before us. Not us. As if things could not get any worse, Mom said she's going to move in with Jason because they need their space and privacy. Jason, trying to smooth things over, suggested that Jack moves in with me. And Jason also told him that since he could not accept his relationship with my mom, maybe moving in with me was the right decision, saying it was a win-win situation for the both of us. Jack's own father was kicking him out, but Jack was having none of it. He felt betrayed by his father's decision and hurt by the way things were happening, so Jack packed the bags and moved in with me. When Jack moved in, I felt the stars were starting to align with us. I actually felt a slimmer of hope that we would have a happy ending, no matter what. But the weight of our financial struggles was becoming too burdensome. We were both not ready and we tried to make it work, but it wasn't easy. Jack was not prepared to be renting, and our combined salary could not support both of us, and I just suggested dipping into our wedding budget to cover the rent. But Jack refused, adamant that not even a single cent would come from our dream wedding fund. Last month, we couldn't scrape together enough to pay the rent, and now the new bill is looming over us like a dark cloud. We're running out of options, and I can just feel the tension between us reaching its breaking point. But one thing's for sure, we can't keep going like this. We need to find a solution very, very fast. Update number 2. Hey guys, it's me. I'm back for another update. So, just a quick update about Jack. I managed to get a full-time job and Jack found a part-time job. Hopefully this could help us pay the bills in the upcoming months. After days of brainstorming and reading your comments for advice and suggestions, we really couldn't think of anything to stop our parents from marrying each other, aside from destructive, harmful actions. But we weren't about to give up just yet. With the wedding date coming closer by the minute, we felt the pressure. We knew that we had to act fast if we wanted to derail their plans. All we could think of was to find dirt against them as soon as possible before it's too late. We spent countless hours digging through emails, social media, and anything else that we could think of, searching for any hint of scandal or wrongdoing. But no matter how hard we looked, we couldn't find anything. Nothing came up. We were losing hope because the wedding date was nearing, but not until we discovered something last week. See, 2 days ago was Mom and Jason's wedding. Then a week before, something absolutely unexpected happened. I realized that I'm probably pregnant. So Jack and I attended the wedding, but we did not go empty-handed. We were determined to put a stop to this madness once and for all. Jack and I sat in the back of the church feeling guilty because of the wait that was about to happen. We couldn't let this go on, we couldn't let our parents make the biggest mistake of their lives, and we couldn't let them ruin our life. As the priest uttered those fateful words, "Speak now or forever hold your peace," Jack and I exchanged a nervous glance. That was it, our chance to have our happy ending, and with trembling voices we stood up and faced everyone. We intended to sit at the back so that everybody would hear what we were about to say. We told them everything, laid bare the ugly truth about how our parents had sabotaged our relationship. The room went deathly silent, as not everyone knew what was happening, and people looked at us confused, unsure of what to make of our outburst. But we weren't done yet. I uttered the words that would change everything. How could you marry each other, knowing Jack and I are going to have a baby? The silence that followed was deafening. All eyes turned to Mom and Jason, and I could see their faces of disbelief. At that moment, the truth had finally been revealed. Jack and I were holding hands all throughout, and he made sure that I felt that he had my back. Slowly, one by one, the guests walked out, and Mom and Jason postponed the wedding out of shame. It's been 2 days, and I still feel a slight pang of guilt. We lied. Mom and Jason did not know that we were pregnant, but we had to keep the news to ourselves because what if they still continued their marriage despite knowing the truth? This way, there's a high chance that they won't continue with it because everybody knows. It'll be too shameful for them to still do it. Mom and Jason have been trying to contact us, but we don't want to answer. We received messages from relatives supporting our relationship, and even some apologies for when they told us to give our parents a chance at happiness. Of course, there are people who are angry at us for disrespecting our parents and the church, but we had to do what we had to do. As the reality of our situation is sinking in, I couldn't help but wonder what would come next. But one thing is certain, nothing would ever be the same again. Update number 3. Hey, it's been a few days since my last post, and here's what's been going down. Even though the wedding did not push through, Mom and Jason announced that nothing could break their relationship up and nobody could stop them. They even announced a new schedule for their wedding. After receiving the news, I cried all day. Well, obviously not. I mean, do they want children who will have kids together? Is that what they want? Imagine the shame and bullying my child will go through if people find out that his or her parents are siblings by law. I don't want to give my child a life like that. No mother would want that. I decided to call my dad, and I'm running out of options, and the only person I think would ever help is him. After a day of contemplating, I finally called him up. He was shocked when he found out the situation. He ended the call immediately and asked for my address, and I told me to wait. As so I did, and what I'm about to tell you is not what I expected. He showed up at our doorstep and revealed the real reason why he and Mom had split up those years ago. Turns out it wasn't because they just drifted apart like we believed. No, it's because my mom cheated on him with none other than Jason. He said it all started when Jack and I's family started having dinner together. Not long after, Dad and Jack's mom noticed how Mom and Jason started acting differently. They noticed the way Mom's eyes would light up when Jason walked into the room, and the softness in her voice when she spoke to him. They moved around each other with an ease that spoke of deep connection. They noticed how Jason would serve Mom, give her her last little bites, and how he knew that, what coffee Mom liked. I remember coming home from school one day to find my dad sitting alone in the kitchen with his mask of pain on betrayal of his face. He tells me that he and Mom were separating and that they just couldn't make it work anymore. I didn't understand it then, but it all makes sense now. Apparently, my mom manipulated my father into keeping her cheating actions from me so that I would not blame myself for making our families close to each other. Really? She stooped that low? I felt sad for Dad because he had a partner like Mom. Well, on the bright side, good riddance for Dad. Then I remembered Jack's mom. Was she depressed because of this? Did she leave because of my mom and Jason's infidelity? I don't know how I would share this with Jack, but I'm afraid that he won't take the news lightly. I don't know what he'll do. I knew it would shatter him, and just as it shattered me. But the truth has to come to light, no matter the cost, and if it can be used to put an end to Mom and Jason's toxic relationship once and for all, then so be it. As the truth sank in, I couldn't help but feel a sense of relief. Relief that Dad had finally told me the truth, but bitterness at the years of lies and deceit that had torn our family apart. Jack and I confronted them last night. Standing before them, my voice quivered because of all the anger that pent up inside of it. They seemed taken aback by my sudden assertiveness. I told them that if they don't call the wedding off, I'll make sure they both pay for what they've done. I won't hesitate to reveal everything. I'll make sure the world knows what they did. Updates number 4. Hey guys, it's been a while since I last updated you. I actually never thought that I would still update my last post because I thought that after my threat, Mom and Jason would stop their nonsense relationship, but I was wrong. Anyways, you're probably wondering what prompted me to write this update, so here it is. After delivering my ultimatum to Mom and Jason, as I said, I half expected them to back down and call off the wedding. Instead, they became more stubborn and insisted that they didn't care what the world thought of them. They were ready to face the consequences of their actions together, come what it may. Is this what people call the honeymoon phase? Their selfishness and love for each other literally trumped everything. They were being child and acting like teenagers. Also, they said what happened is already in the past, so everybody should move on. Like, what they did was damaging the people around them, so how can we move on? How can they be so cruel? Honestly, their audacity left me speechless. Well, I wasn't about to let them get away with it. Jack and I have had enough. We were tired of their lies and tired of being dragged into their mess, so we made a decision that would change everything. We decided to disown them. It wasn't easy, but it's what we had to do. We couldn't just continue to let them play with our lives like we were little toys, and so we cut ties with them 100%. I thought everything would end after cutting them off, but Jack's relatives from her mother's side got wind of what has been going on, and let me tell you, they were not impressed. I mean, who would be impressed if they found out the possible reason for Jack's mom depression, right? Anyways, as it turns out, the house that Mom and Jason have been living in actually belonged to Jack. It had been left to him by his grandparents, and he was the rightful owner. So, you can imagine their shock when we showed up at their doorstep yesterday and handed them an eviction notice. As soon as they finished reading the notice, Mom slapped me in the face, saying we didn't have the right to kick them out of our home. So, Jack tells them the truth, and even shouted at his father for lying and kicking him out of his own home. Both of them were living on savings, and Jason wasn't working, and Mom quit her job when she moved in with him. So they begged and pleaded. How can two adults make that kind of decision? Anyways, they even promised to break up if we let them be in the house. But we weren't having it. Mom was still crying when we left. It serves her right. They had dug their own graves, and now they have to lie in it. But as for Jack and me, we're probably gonna move into Jack's inherited house and build our family there. We're going to move forward with our lives because it hasn't been easy, but knowing we have each other makes it all worth it. So, to all of you who have followed this crazy journey, I just want to say thank you. Your help meant the world. Final update, update 5, it's been ages. Hey guys, I just wanted to fill you in on everything that's happened. See, after kicking Mom and Jason out, Jack and I focused on rebuilding our lives. I'm finally married. We got married on the beach and had a simple ceremony surrounded by our close friends, and our child is going to attend school soon. Our luck didn't stop there. See, both Jack and I got promoted at our job, which allowed us to earn more money, thankfully. With our combined incomes, we were able to buy a new house, our dream home. As for Mom and Jason, let's just say we drained all the luck from them. With no home and not enough money to support themselves, they were forced to separate and move in with their respective relatives. We cut off all our communications with them and received words about them here and there from relatives. I won't lie, there's a certain satisfaction in knowing that they did not get the happy ending they wanted, Well, Mom, she just kept on creating new social accounts on social media, trying to apologize for everything that she did to me. And, she has now come to her senses. She even sent pictures of gifts that she bought that she said she was going to give her grandbaby once I allowed them to meet each other. It does hurt a lot to see her like this, but I don't want her to ruin my life anymore. Jack and I, we've come a long ways. Our relationship is stronger than ever, and we're finally able to look forward to the future. To everyone who supported us, thank you. Let me know what you would have done.
All right, I just want to read this one comment and see what you guys think about it. It is from Final Fail 8756. Life's too short to hold grudges. I get where you're coming from, but holding on to anger can be a heavy burden. And also, family is important, and holding on to anger might only hurt you more in the long run. Maybe there's still room for forgiveness. Also, I know you've been through a lot, but maybe your mother is reaching out is just a sign that she's changed. And it's understandable to protect your child, but grandparents can bring so much joy and wisdom into a kid's life. Everyone makes mistakes, OP. People grow. I think your mom and Jason deserve a second chance. I want to know if you guys agree with that. Do you think the mother deserves a second chance, even though everything that OP had to go through? Drop it down below. Let's talk about it, guys. Have a great day, and of course, remember, it's cool to be kind. And don't forget to subscribe. See ya.